bit of a heavier dose of getting it into Millie a little bit more in there, but they did protect the paint, but we had size advantage. And so just continuing to get good attacks, and we knew that they were going to collapse in there, so it was going to lead to wide open threes or anything on the backside. So Vegas did a good job of taking advantage when they had one-on-one opportunities, and then when they didn't and the collapse came, we found a couple open threes. So.
Andy, then Mia.
Yeah, Kia, you kind of spoke to this already. You had a season high 7 assists. Yeah, as a team, 21 assists, 10 turnovers. What's the positive spin on that in terms of what you can take away from this game since you were able to achieve that?
Yeah, I mean, I think we know as a team, and the stats do say, the more we move the ball, the better we are. And it's just creating advantages for one another and playing Southwest basketball. And so I think we did a good job today of understanding and making those reads. And it's split-second decisions in the flow of the game. I think we could have executed it a little bit better down the stretch, like you mentioned earlier. But for the most part, did a good job of finding one another. And we play really well off of one another when we create shots for each other. And so there was a lot of excitement and energy there too, building. So that was a good piece of it for sure.
We're going to Mia, then Christian.
In the first 5 minutes of the fourth quarter, you guys only shot 2. You guys only had 2 points. I was wondering, what do you think happened there? What was the momentum shift from the quarters before?
I think some of it was missing shots, just to be honest. We weren't getting as many defensive stops that would lead to some easier offensive shots, but I do think we just missed one.
Christian, on your left.
Christian, one-sided turnovers were down in this game to 10, and it looked like you got, like you just said, you guys were getting a lot of good shots, good looks, but they weren't falling. Was it helpful now to have an additional ball handler and Seth using, and what else do you think contributed to that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Seth is just a solid player. I played with her overseas, and she's played in this league, and I think it takes pressure off of our guards, allows them to get some good shots, and for post players too, it allows us to get some more paint looks. So I'm excited that she's here. It's a tough position. Your first game back playing all those minutes, but I thought she handled herself.
Zachary, second row on your right.
Elizabeth, you and Camila really did a good job of feeding well off of one another in the paint, on the boards. Being one of the veteran players on the team, is she somebody that you've kind of taken under your wing and helped show her some points to the game?
Yeah, I think Mel's also done a good job of taking some initiative herself. We lived together before the games, me, her, and Kia, and I think that just speaks to the mindset she's trying to have and being around us and doing the right thing. So I think she's just going to continue to get better. I thought she communicated really well. It's a tough team that plays with 5 shooters, and I thought she did what she could, and she'll continue to get better.
Any more players? Go back to Mia and Carly.
You guys had 4 players today that had double digits. I was just wondering, what did you guys think of the team effort today? Can you speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, I thought we played pretty hard. Gave ourselves an opportunity to win that game, obviously, and we're obviously down in numbers right now. So the only thing that you can do is go out there and play as hard as you can and play for one another. And I thought we did that. I think that's very evident in the assist numbers that we had today. If you watched our faces on pretty much anything, if someone took a charge, if we found a wide open shooter, if he got one of the million putbacks that she had there late in the game for us, we were excited for one another and just feeding off of that energy and enjoying being out there and playing together. That's part of the chemistry that comes with it. It really helps when you go through a situation where teams go on runs, because basketball is very much a game of runs. So I thought we were pretty resilient in giving ourselves an opportunity to not put ourselves in a hole.
We'll close up with Carly Bell.
You spoke that can do, and it just and calm offense. Presence does she provide as a point guard that kind of allows that calmness to trickle throughout all 5 of you guys on the floor?
Yeah, I think she, like I said, she has a lot of experience. She also has international experience, and there's a lot of pressure in those situations. So I think she just does a good job of communicating. She knows the plays already, so she gets us in our spots, and it helps us out.
Thanks, everyone. Coach, be next.
Do you feel like you can kind of learn about how this team handled the clutch specifically tonight?
I thought the entire game came down to execution, and Golden State was able to execute better than we were on both ends down the stretch. So I think that was the game.
Coach Camila has been showing a good level of consistency over these last few games, double-doubles, and tonight she played over 34 minutes. So a lot of talk has been happening this season about her building her confidence. Do you feel like she's finally at a point where her confidence is being displayed and she's feeling more better about the way she's been playing?
I think so. I think it's tough sometimes to, from a player's perspective, to kind of see that when you're in the midst of losing games the way that we have been. And so I think you got to see the progress within it and kind of see the kind of light at the end of the tunnel type of thing. And so I think she is growing confident, more and more confident as the game goes. But the most important thing to Mila is pulling out wins. And so, it's kind of bittersweet, I would imagine, on her end.
We'll go to Brian and Ricky.
Coach, for the majority of the game, it looked like you guys were playing at your own pace. In that fourth quarter, you guys sped up a little bit. What were you just seeing in that moment?
I don't know. I think we started off the game a little bit slower than we would have liked. And then it picked up in that second quarter and for most of the third quarter, and then kind of died down a little bit in that fourth one. And we talk all the time about continuing to have that motor in that drive even when shots aren't falling. And so, at times our offense fuels our defense, at times it's the other way around. And when neither is going, it can be tough. But those are the moments where we got to stay in it and dig deep and value each possession.
Go to Ricky, back row on your right.
After Kia's turnover on the fast break late in the game, minute left, Rachel intentionally fouled, I think with 34 seconds left. Was that a planned thing, or was that like poor situational awareness? What did you make of that intentional foul?
No, I think that it was just a time and score thing. I think obviously the last time we played Golden State, it was a similar issue but different. I think that Rachel was playing the clock there, but that didn't determine the game by any means. Again, I think this game came down to late game execution, and that starts and that ends with me. So
We'll go to the second row on your left.
Coach, it seemed like towards the end of the game, Camila landed maybe on her wrist or her hand. Can you just sort of talk about, it looked like she was sort of flexing her hand. Can you talk about what she was saying to you and the decision to leave her in the game?
She wasn't saying anything to me. She got up. I was ready to put a sub in for her, but she got up and wanted to stay in the game and felt like she could, so we continued to roll with that.
We'll go to the third row on your left.
Coach, this is now the 7th straight loss in a row. So how do you keep up the morale of the team going into the rest of the season, especially with several key players out? How do you keep the morale of the team?
Yeah, I think that we got to continue to use the togetherness that we have been in terms of being connected as a unit, but at the same time, like there's a level of professionalism to be a self-motivator and self-starter to finish out a season. Like we got a lot of games left to play, and so the season isn't over by any stretch. That's the mindset. That should be enough to continue to put forth the work ethic, continue to put forth the passion, the drive, and to be teammates. I mean, it's what we get paid to do, so we can't cash it in now. There's still a lot of basketball left to play.
Got time for a few more. We'll go to Andy and Carly.
Coach, 17 and a half minutes from 70 tonight. I know it's hard to judge off of one game. What did you like from her tonight, and what do you want her to bring into the upcoming games?
Yeah, I thought for the most part she took command of the offense in the time that she was in. I thought she pressured the ball pretty well for someone that's only 2 or 3 days into learning our system and what we want. I think that she had a good feel for her teammates while she was out there. Was able to get a couple of looks to E and a couple of looks to Camila, and so I thought she played pretty well.
We'll close out with Brian.
Coach, just want to get your assessment on the zone from Golden State tonight. There was a couple of possessions there where I saw you guys did a good job of moving them out of it. Just want to get your overall assessment.
Yeah, I think that they play the most zone in the league, and it's part of a staple of them. I think that we were handling their man-to-man pretty good in a stretch, and the zone threw us off rhythm early on. I think we adjusted to it pretty decently. But yeah, it's part of their versatility as a defensive unit, their ability to again to protect the paint, whether they're in man or whether they're in zone, and force those kickouts and be able to get out and contest those threes. So they're a really good defensive team for a reason, and a lot of it's because of the versatility, whether they're in man or whether they're in zone. So.
Thanks, everyone.